the biggest questions for the teams in the division, the AFC North, and the Baltimore-Ravens. This one, can Lamar Jackson develop as a thrower? And that's a huge question.
Yeah, and accuracy is something that has been kind of his bugaboo going all the way back to Louisville. He was always an athletic quarterback, had a good arm, but accuracy has always been a question. It followed him last year. Can you teach accuracy? I don't know, but the thing is, Lamar Jackson is so athletic, he doesn't have to be a great thrower. He doesn't have to be Baker Mayfield and pinpoint accurate, but he's got to be able to make big throws. And there were times last year when the Ravens on a 3rd and 8 would call an option. You can't survive like that in the NFL. You've got to be able to make a throw on 3rd down and 8 and get a first down.
Browns fans have not seen anybody that's been able to develop accuracy in the NFL.
Yeah.
And the flip side of that is, how long can you really run? I mean, see Robert Griffin III. That would be the biggest cautionary tale for Lamar Jackson. And I know they're different players, but the end result is the same. You cannot constantly have big, strong, athletic guys running after you hitting you every play.
Yeah, well, and if Lamar needs to learn that lesson, he just needs to look at the sideline because Robert Griffin III is there in Baltimore right now. So he's got a guy like that to learn from. But the one thing that I did like about Lamar last year when he did run, he seemed to be really good protecting himself. Sometimes, though, you just can't help it because you've got to get that extra yard or you've got to get into that end zone. So, it can be bad for a quarterback if you're relying on running the ball.
And, unlike college, there are every guy on that field can run and is strong, and there is no weak spot. Let's transition to the Bengals. Did they finally get a supporting cast to help Andy Dalton? Their left tackle is injured, the guy that they drafted in the first round, so that was a big problem last year. Can they protect him, and do they have the pieces around him?
Yeah, they're going to have to move Cordy Glenn back over to left tackle, and that obviously wasn't good enough last year because they went and drafted a left tackle with their first-round pick. Andy Dalton is not a great quarterback, but he's a guy that if he has a supporting cast around him, as we saw when he had A.J. Green and Mohamed Sanu and Marvin Jones, he can be productive. If the Bengals can find that, if A.J. Green is healthy, if they can find a couple other receivers around him, if Joe Mixon can be as good as he was last year, maybe Andy Dalton can look like he did in 2014, 2015. But there's a real ceiling on Dalton, and it's based on the talent around him.
And the other thing will be interesting is how Zac Taylor, the head coach, how does his offense tailor it around?
Exactly.
Not play on words not intended. How do you tailor it around a guy like Andy Dalton?
Yeah, you kind of know what Andy Dalton is, right? He's not a great quarterback. He's going to have some games where he makes these throws that just make you scratch your head, and he'll have other games where he looks like he's a great quarterback, real inconsistent. But the Bengals are running it back with Dalton at least one more time, and Zac Taylor's going to see what he can do with him.
The Browns, the question with the Browns has to be about Freddie Kitchens, all the expectations that, they haven't been here for this franchise in quite a while.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how Freddie Kitchens manages things when they don't go real well. Let's say they lose to the Titans. Let's say they start 0-2. Let's say they could lose to the Titans and go on the road on Monday night and lose to the Jets. You're 0-2. Now some of those jokes in the press conferences don't land as easily, and now maybe you've got some guys complaining about not getting the football, things like that. That's what Freddie Kitchens is going to have to handle, is the adversity. It's something he's never been in a position where he's had to sort of be the front-facing guy if a team is struggling or not playing particularly well or not meeting high expectations. So that's really going to be the test for Freddie Kitchens.
And, his personality is such that he's not going to try. I don't think he's going to try to be anybody other than Freddie Kitchens, which is, that's all you can ask.
Yeah, he's going to be the guy that we've seen from the day that he did his first press conference as the offensive coordinator. He's going to be that guy every single week. It's going to be about managing the locker room and making sure that guys, if they are unhappy, he's able to find ways to keep them happy, and he was able to do that in spots last year.
Then as we shift to the Steelers, lost a lot. The question is, can the young skill position guys play at the level that they need to? Connor, Schuster.
Yeah, Juju is really kind of the big question.
Right.
He played a lot in the slot last year. The last 2 weeks, I looked it up a couple weeks ago, the last 2 weeks he played on the outside, had a really good game against New Orleans. Not so great against Cincinnati, but he's a guy that's really worked in the slot a ton. Now he's going to be asked to go to the outside. Can he do that? James Conner was good last year. He also put up a lot of yardage against the Browns in the 2 games that they played. And there were some stretches where he wasn't all that great. And there were some stretches where you would see a play and think, oh, Le'Veon Bell would have caught that ball and taken it into the end zone. And James Conner maybe had a drop. So can those guys take their game to the next level and fill the void left by the losses of Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell?